Life is a struggle, and the load that comes with it is very heavy. It is, however, easier for one to overcome all its storms and conquer them when there is a helping hand. This helping hand is what GNPC Foundation offers.
If you look at the pillars of the foundation, I mean, the scholarship, the education is one. We're looking at economic empowerment. We're looking at providing facilities for some of the deprived, if I call them villages in our part of the country, where, but for what GNPC is doing, some of them may not have the basic necessities of life. I mean, like toilets, like markets, like places where they can even have a decent bath.
And at GNPC Foundation, we have countless stories on how burdens have been lifted through what we do. Perhaps the story of 23-year-old Stephen Koomson would get you to understand our mandate better.
We got to know about him through a story. Quickly, we got engaged, and then we realized that, oh, this is true. We sent a team to the Galamsey site and all that.
This was then followed by an announcement of GNPC Foundation's commitment to taking full responsibility of his tertiary education.
I remember the first day we engaged him. He was full of tears. He couldn't believe that he was going to get this opportunity from GNPC. Quickly, we arranged a visit to the University of Ghana. Kudos and thanks to Professor Bawele. He's always been there for us. We took him there, and his dream was actually to become a lawyer.
And nothing will change his mind about reading law. At this point, yes, the beggar had a choice.
Professor Bawele said, at least I agree for us to give you any progress. I said, no, I want to be a lawyer. And I remember that episode very well. So, back and forth, and then finally, he was given admission to read law.
I think that was my time that I can be able to just decide what I would like to be in future, and then also to go for my goals.
Becoming a lawyer one day has been his childhood dream, and at GNPC, where dreams are empowered, this was becoming possible.
I'll be playing with my colleagues and then friends and then the other stuff. They'll be like, oh, I say, just come. I say, just come and just defend, or maybe play the part of a lawyer, and then let's see how it will end. So even in SHS, I just normally encounter such issues or such things. So I was like, oh wow, that means God has given me something. I have to just go for it. And then through that, during that time, I was very shy. So I decided that no, before you can be able to do something. And also, the elderly people normally approach me that, oh, Stephen, you have the gift. Just get through it. Just go for your goal.
And like an arrow from a bow, he was admitted, just like that.
Everything was like a dream, because with that, I got to meet up with people of high hierarchy, and then I was like, God, me from the trenches to here, that means I have a long way to go. That means I have a goal that I can be able to do, and also can be able to help the needy, just like how I was.
So even though GNPC is all about oil and gas, what is oil and gas about? Who was able to identify the oil and gas? The human resource of the nation identified the oil in the country. So I would say that we see education as very important and key in the area. We also realize that the initiators of this education and training project, as part of the corporate social responsibilities of the corporation, identify that without it, it will be difficult to even manage the oil and gas sector itself.
50% of Koomson's burden has been catered for, the other half still staring him in the face.
During that time, I was just feeding myself, feeding my mom, and then my other brothers and sisters, and also saving something so that I can be able to, maybe in the nearest future, I can be able to further up my education.
Illegal mining is not only tedious but dangerous too. There have been countless incidents of miners' pits caving and killing them. But Koomson had to even do more, all because of the dreams he had.
I normally work in the morning and then in the evening too, because I normally say that the morning is for my mom and then my sibling, and then the evening too is mine. So I have to just combine all of them together so that I can be able to just go straight to my goal or to achieve my goals in the nearest future.
He told me that he wanted to end his education in order to work and then help the younger siblings. The idea was good, but I was telling him that you, being the tree of the family now, so if you intend to sacrifice your education, then what happens to those behind you? Because they'll be pointing fingers that you didn't even go to school. What work are taught that when you are not a professional or maybe do not have a better certificate, you'll be paid well? So at the end of the day, the same poverty will still overrun the family.
And when I saw those pictures, I was extremely depressed, because these are the people who will take over from us. These are the people whose, and through no fault of theirs, they get located where they are located. But they've been endowed with so much excellence and brilliance, and all they need is someone to clear the way so they too can go to school and become who they are.
But GNPC didn't allow this cycle to continue in Koomson's family. We have broken it.
The circumstance of these people should not determine the fate of their children. Because I keep saying, if anybody knew that President Obama was going to be the first black president, people would have contributed money for him ahead of time. So the next, president that Ghana could have is this young man sitting here. The next president that maybe the first female president is this young lady who is currently studying pharmacy, and many of the people that GNPC reaches out to, and for which reason they are able to, life becomes a little better for them.
Risking his life for his family and for his own future meant blatantly ignoring all the red flags.
I'm a guy too, and I'm in need of something. I just want to get closer to my dream, so I just want to just achieve my goals in future too. Whilst I was there, I keep on saying that,
So now that one of his responsibilities had been handled, how does his family feed? This is what scared the executive director of GNPC Foundation. He could sneak back to the Galamsey business.
We needed to sustain him because the risk was still high. He could have gone back after we even engaged him, because we had close about 6 months for them to commence the academic calendar. So we're like, no, we have to engage him. So he actually came here as an intern for all the 6 months. He was actually in my office for 6 months as an intern before starting finally. And trust me, it's one story that hits you all the time. And we thank God that we've been able to do that for the young man.
Nothing was allowed to thwart the foundation's effort at getting him out of this illegal and life-threatening venture. Professor Bawale is appreciative of GNPC for always coming to the rescue of the underprivileged in society like Koomson.
When they get opportunities like this, and many of those that GNPC has sponsored, both for masters and undergraduate programs, and I, knowing what education has done, can only say thank you to GNPC, and please do more. I know that you are doing a lot, but please do more, because there are several others. Maybe you should work with us also. So when we identify the challenging ones like that, we can make recommendations to GNPC for support.
Koomson's family has been reduced to a life of indigence. They were so impoverished that they lack any of life's comforts. It is so bad that Koomson's mother and the rest of his siblings are now putting up in a community center after the demise of their father some 7 years ago. His younger brother, Isaac Kofi, tells us more.
Baby, I baby na me nuanom ketewa nso school fees nye obi ntia ma me nye adwuma enu ntona me probi ma abo.
Isaac has also quit school.
Me do JHS to na me die na scan fee Anything on the high school.
Their mother is jobless but has 4 mouths to feed. She used to manage a public toilet on the outskirts of Tarkwa where they lived, but that facility is dysfunctional now. Sadly, Koomson's 17-year-old brother has had to truncate his education to assume the breadwinner role Koomson played.
Obi kwa na mdinechi semenya kakra na befi ave support biti niso tom na Messi na carpenter onka.
Koomson didn't find it easy at Impoho Senior High School where he studied general arts.
When you ask me a question, you want to force it on him. Once in a while, he responds. So I didn't notice until Form 1, I think the second semester or the third semester, those days we were doing the 3 terms. Then I realized that the exams, he shocked me in the exams. That is from Form 1 getting to Form 2, the last semester exams we did. So when school reopened and you came and said, you are that good. And then you have always been hiding. Then anytime you ask me a question, you be He said, Koomson, at least if for nothing at all, we are also your parents. If there's something that you can be able to help you with it, please let me know. But when you approach him, you see his mouth, you even talk.
Koomson was going through a lot, but he preferred keeping everything to himself. But that is also not good, and it bothered his teacher. So he employed another strategy to get him to open up. This time, it worked.
So I decided that anytime I come to class to come and teach and I'm going to the staff room, I intend to give my books to him so that you follow me to the staff room. So by that journey, one day he says, every day you have been asking me what is wrong. Then he started his story. The story was that he's come from a very poor background home. And then he did not even mention about his father. So he said, anytime you ask him about his father, he say, for daddy, let's put that one aside. So he asked of the mommy. He said the mother is in Tarkwa.
What to eat even as a day student was a problem. This is the reason the school administration agreed that he goes to the dining hall with those in the boarding house.
After some time, you stop. He said he doesn't feel comfortable because anytime he sits by table, the colleagues will be saying you are not a boarder, but yet you're enjoying a meal. So I asked him, why won't you go? Should somebody go and take it for you? He said no. Then later I realized that he was not happy going to the dining hall to go and then take his meal. I asked of his finance, he said the young guy has been giving him 10 cedis. And then from Impoho, going to Edu Dominasi, in those days were around 4 cedis or 5 cedis or so. So when he takes in the 4 cedis 4 cedis, that means he's left with only 2 cedis and managed with food.
And this nearly cost him when they were writing the wasi.
So during the examination, I remember at a point in time, he says that his head was aching him, not knowing that it was something where the center cannot hold. So by the time I realized, a teacher also called him and then dashed him money. And then the examination, anytime I come to class too, I was telling them, do your best.
Koomson did not allow these challenges to hold him down. He was so focused and determined. Determination, as it is often said, is the unwavering resolve that enables individuals to persist even when faced with adversity. No wonder when all was said and done, he came out with 5 A's and 3 B's in his wasi. His uncle he stayed with at the time couldn't help, so Koomson took his destiny into his own hands. This marked the beginning of his Galamsey journey.
Coming up with the flying colors, I thought that because no one is in to help, I would like to help myself though. That is where I ended up being in that Galamsey or something. So he did, and then I told him that no, that I would like to just excuse myself small, and then I would like to just go out there just to fight, because he himself cannot provide everything or the necessities I may be in need of. So I have to just go with my little effort, and then with his to combine can just bring out something huge. And then he did. He allowed me, and then I decided to just join.
At the Galamsey site one day, a strange call came through. Until date, Koomson has no idea who triggered this call.
when we normally go to the site, we normally take pictures of ourselves, and then I normally post some on my status. Caption is like, "Oh, it shall be well. I will broke and said that," and all those kinds of stuff. And also, I didn't know who who took a screenshot of that picture. And also, my grades too. After our exam, we normally post that, "Oh, if you think that you're a guy, just post your grade," and then it was like a challenge between us, and then everything went successful. And then, I don't know, maybe one of our teachers, or I didn't even know. So when the call came in, I was like, I was mesmerized that, why? Because I'm just here, I haven't posted everything on maybe social media, maybe on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, but how?
Professor Bawale appreciates the enormous impact of credible scholarship schemes like the one offered by GNPC. His story would have been different if he got no help.
My parents were farmers. I was the only one. My father had 5 wives. I was the only one of my father's many children who was taken to school. And I tell you, at every stage of the way, I got a certain type of support, either as a bursary in secondary school, and when I finished O-level, I made a distinction, but I couldn't go to sixth form. I had to go to training college because of Alawa, and that is how come I ended up here. And when I finished my MPhil, I got the Get Fund scholarship to go to the UK and do a PhD. When I finished PhD in UK, they gave me a job, but I turned it down and got back here. And today I am the dean of the business school and helping to shape the next generation of young people. So when I see people, when I see young people who are frustrated and are constrained, cannot pay their fees, I see exactly the young Bawale who many years ago could not pay his fees, who many years ago some institution came through, and who today is the dean of the business school.
That story summarizes everything about what the foundation is about. The whole idea behind setting up the GNPC Foundation, as far as the educational sector is concerned, is to identify such smart, brilliant children and give them assistance. I mean, we've had a situation where a lot of people are falling through the cracks because of financial capability. Yes, and the idea is that we use a vehicle of the foundation to assist.
GNPC Foundation is very intentional about the scholarship support it offers. Technical people are not only our focus, and it is for a good reason.
The initiators of this education and training project, as part of the corporate social responsibilities of the corporation, identify that without it, it will be difficult to even manage the oil and gas sector itself. Do we have the technical know-how? Do we have enough? So the objective is to develop people in the area, and not just the area. When you go to GNPC or any oil industry, I don't think you only find engineers there. You find other people. We have the finance people, the audit people, the HR people, and all the others. So all these areas will also have to benefit. And for this reason, our scholarship, our education project is not just aimed at developing engineers, but rather all other sectors of the economy, because at the end of the day must benefit.
The GNPC Foundation scholarship is really a relief, especially to his mother.
She was like, whoa, wow, because she was not expecting that, oh, I can be able to just get there, because I was struggling, and then there's no helping hand from either east or west, north or south. So she was very, very, very happy that I got to the law school, and then through the help of GNPC. And then she normally says that, oh, maybe I'm because if not the help of them, I wouldn't have been here.
The offer of scholarships that GNPC gives is an extremely important lifeline to the success and the future of so many brilliant young people who otherwise would end up either on the streets or in the way that we found our friend Koomson, who was in a Galamsey pit.
When he told me that finally he has gotten a scholarship to go to GNPC, I asked him of the details. He says that if I say BB account, then it's okay. The BB account, they are conditioned to scholarship. I may not know the details of GNPC, but the moment you fall below certain mark, the scholarship too can be withdrawn. So you should make sure that he sits with his book. So we were very much grateful when finally we heard that finally GNPC has taken the burden of we the teachers psychological from out of our mind and then the parent financially.
Many G pan. And my friend also, I catch him say, school yeah day here. Na me amuna me hwehwe bi. Na ompem wa na me sanso ntu aso na me. Na me see you mate.
For one to develop a nation, or for a nation to develop, the most important asset that must be addressed is the human resource. And education is key here if we really want to develop the human resource. You can identify all the resources in the country, all the natural resources, but it will take the human resource to really identify, to tap, to develop, and then to also make use of it, to consume.
At GNPC Foundation, we blow minds with our interventions.
Though I was expecting to get to the law school, but how the thing came, it came unexpected. So I was very, very happy.
Koomson has changed. That's according to Professor Bawale. He saw his then and now.
I saw Koomson when the GNPC, the foundation director came here, the executive director came here with him. I saw him. Today when I saw him, I saw a different person. You can see life in him. That is what societies do to their most depraved and needy. You bring life back to them. And I sit here on a daily basis. I see young people who are getting destroyed, who we can bring back to life and give them a life.
Koomson's family is really counting on him.
Asema meet me aka kire me Koomson say scholarship ni wanya nyame mfa no nko no onwi no ndi ne ni mo na adusua ho bia na mo boy.
All eyes are on him. He is seen as the Moses to move his family to that promised land. In spite of this, Koomson is thankful that his story and that of his family will change one day.
Finding someone from somewhere and then trying to help that person without knowing any of the person's background is, kind of something. But they took the step, or they took the burden to themselves, and then they were like, oh, just help this guy. But since they took that bold step for me to be able to get here, I also will just do my possible best. So that I can be able to achieve my goal. It might not be a glory or grace to me, but to them too, because it will get to a time that, they will be like, oh, this person through our eyes, and then he get to there, and then the whole world will just see the importance and then how the GNPC as a whole is impacting the lives of the Ghanaians and then the youth as well.